What's up, guys? My name is Kayla Bundy, and you're listening to the Finding Hope podcast. Today, I'm so excited to bring on this phenomenal guest. She's such a boss, such a queen. She crushes it in every area that she takes on. She's a professional dancer and content creator from Michigan, actually. So welcome, Melanie Wilking.
Hello, thank you for having me. All those things that you said about me, right back at you. Like, you're amazing. I love this.
Thank you. No, I'm so excited she's on today because I feel like she lives out confidence so well, and you can just sense how much you believe in yourself and how hard of a worker you are. So I cannot wait to dive into this topic with you and hear your thoughts, and for you guys to just learn and be able to have hope for yourself that you can follow your dreams, you can believe in yourself, and anything you want to do is so possible. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Of course.
You're so sweet. So sweet.
Okay, so since we're both from Michigan, I think we had very different experiences, and we didn't know each other in Michigan.
No.
We met when we both moved, after we had been in California for a few years, I think.
For a while.
But I'm curious, like, what was that transition for you when you moved? Because you moved right out of high school, right? Give us like a little backstory.
So I actually moved out when I was 17. It was the summer before my senior year. So I actually finished my senior year of high school online, so that I could stay out here essentially, because my sister had actually moved the year prior, and I went out for the summer and things just kind of started happening. That's kind of when we dove into like the social media scene, and then we had a gig with Radio Disney that we were doing weekly of this like live radio show, and we would live stream it. And so I just realized, and so did my parents were there too, that if I went back home and went and finished my senior year actually in school, like all those opportunities would go away for me and my sister because they were us together.
Wow.
And so we kind of had that like family discussion, like, should I just stay out here? Like, is that possible? You know, and it really helped because both my parents are school teachers, and they worked in the same district that I went to school in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So everyone that my parents worked with, teachers, like they all knew that I was very heavy into dance, that I wanted to do it as a career and all this. So it really helped make that transition easier. Like people wanted to help me because they knew how hard I worked. They knew how serious I took it, and it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just gonna go to LA and whatever. Like, no,
gonna fake it till I make it.
Right.
See what happens.
Like I had things lined up, and so they made it very, pretty simple for me. I started taking classes online, and I actually took more credits than I had to because I wanted to graduate with my class. So I took, I don't even know how many credits, and then actually went back to school in June because I actually graduated a little early, and so then went back. I am very much like, if I have something, I'm just gonna get it done like right away. No procrastination. Like, we need to get it done.
Yeah.
And so I graduated a little early, and then went to actually walk with my class because I wanted to have that experience and go to prom and all those things. So
okay, so this is proof you can do it all.
You can do it all. But I will say, it was a lot. It was, me waking up hours before my sister to make sure I had my stuff done, and then, doing dance stuff with her, and but I did it. It was great. I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I did that.
Probably too, like, has one, I think a lot of it's your personality, but two, that probably was a really good year for you because you had so much on your plate. And you like just made this big move, and so it's like, okay, well, I will figure it out. Like, it's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
And
you have to, take sacrifices. I wanted to graduate high school, and I wanted to be in LA, so let's make it work.
Let's just do it.
Really good learning, like, time management too, And I think I learned a lot of that growing up as like a competition dancer and having so much going on with that. Like, time management is so crucial.
Oh, it is everything. Knowing how to manage your time if you dance or in any sort of sport, like in high school or college, anything like that. I mean, it's a full-time thing. And so you really have to learn how to compartmentalize and give your all in every aspect of your life.
No, for sure.
Wow. Well, amazing. So what do you think helps carry you and have that mindset that you were just going to do it all and it was all going to work out? And it, like, I guess, did you ever question, did I make the right choice, or is this what I need to do, or should I go back, or home's always there?
What's crazy, no, I never second guessed anything. And I think I never had a plan B either. Like, there was never the, like, oh, I can move back, I can go to college later, or no, I mean, I still think that, like, I can always still go to college, because I didn't go to college after, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I didn't go to college after high school, and so I always knew that would be there, but I guess I didn't really give myself an out. Like, it was like, okay, no, we're gonna do this thing. And so I kind of just, another thing that I think I did pretty early on is I realized that opportunities aren't just handed to you. No. Like, you don't get out to LA, you don't, try to fulfill your dreams and things are just handed to you.
Not at all.
You have to make things happen for yourself first, Like, people would always say, like, oh my gosh, you're so busy. Like, you're always so busy. And in my mind, I was thinking, I just did this stuff myself. Like, I'm creating things. I'm putting my dance videos online, because at that time, I just moved out to California to dance professionally. So, like, for music videos and stuff like that. And so in the meantime, I was like, well, what can I do, because I'm not booking every single job there is. Let me, put some videos online, or let me, make up some choreography to this song and, post it, or get some friends together and do stuff. So
just being so active about what you're pursuing. Yeah,
you can't just sit around and wait for things to happen to you. You have to put in the work, and with that, opportunities will come, and you'll meet people in that can present opportunities, or that you can give opportunities. And so,
For sure.
Just being active.
There's so much about that I want to touch on. I don't know if she was looking at the mic. There's so much about that I want to touch on. And I love how you said I didn't give myself an out. And I totally relate to that. I feel like that has been my mindset with every decision I've ever made in my life, is once I commit, I commit. I never give myself, like, a second option. I never give myself a plan B, or, like, I don't know, kind of talk myself into this comfort zone of, oh, well, if this doesn't go exactly how I think it's going to, like, I can always just go back. I can always just, like, and, like, same even, like, relationally or with friends, like, once I commit, I'm committed.
Yes.
And I think that is so essential in doing what you want to do, whether that is career, whether that is in the school you want, whatever path you're on right now. And if you're moving, anything like that, any changes in your life, I think it's so healthy to have the mindset of, like, there is no out, because obviously that's known. Like, that is always an option. You always have home. You always can find something. But if you enter into a change already telling yourself you can get out of this, I think then it really just stumps you and holds you back from fully embracing that and using your best abilities to start thinking outside of the box and what you were doing, just start creating things and start doing things for yourself in the meantime, because you didn't have the idea of, oh, like, well, if these opportunities aren't coming to me, then maybe I'm not supposed to do it. Because in reality, like, whether it is dance, whether it's a career you're doing for yourself, or whether you're working for somebody, or any aspect of your life, if you have the mindset that if things aren't coming to you, it's not for you, then I think that's where there's so much just doubt and hopelessness, and you're constantly wondering if you're in the right thing, or if you should push through. And reality is, I love what you said, like, opportunities aren't just going to come to you. Like, they aren't just handed to you. You have to work for them. And you can be working like crazy for them and still not get anything. And that doesn't mean that that's not for you. It's just, that's life. Like, life is a lot of work, and it's good to have that mindset of, okay, I do need to apply myself. I do need to try my best in these areas if I want to get where I want to go, and not have this false hope that just because I said yes to one thing, that everything else is handed to me.
Right. And that, because I moved to California to dance professionally, but then stumbled upon social media and got into all that. And now I absolutely love this whole world that I'm a part of. So that's not to say that you can have your mindset on one thing and have to, you know, stick to that one thing. It's like, you know, going towards that can open your eyes to so much more. And, you know, you may have new aspirations, and that's a beautiful thing, but you have to keep pushing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And same thing with me. I moved out to dance professionally and do all of that. And like the same thing, like the music video route, that the commercial route. And it's great. Like I love it, but it also it opened other doors for me along the way. And now what I'm doing, I feel like I love way more than trying to just book everything and audition like crazy. And that was a time in my life that I did really enjoy that. But I'm happy that it's also led me to where I'm currently at. And I think where I'm at, and probably where you're at too, this isn't where we're going to stay forever. Like this is just a time that we get to pour all of ourselves into this, and doors are going to open along the way. And what you said too that I wanted to touch on, how you were like, and you meet people and on and on and on. And you totally attract what you put out. And when you are working your butt off, or when you are so confident in yourself that you can make things happen, it really draws in the right people. And like you're such an evident proof of that, because you have met incredible people. You've done so much, like from where you were when you moved here to where you are now. Like you have really established yourself and just created such a good name for yourself, where you're very, I feel like, respected, and your community and the people around you, they're very hard workers. Like you definitely surround yourself with people that are pushing you.
Absolutely. Like yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe it's why we get along so well. We're pretty in sync with our mindsets, I feel like.
Exactly. We never have just like, I mean, it's probably either good or bad, but we never have like, do you just want to like hang out or like come watch a show for a few hours? None of us are like that. We're like, okay, so let's see how many things we can get done.
Yeah.
And it's always fun though. Like it feels like we're hanging out. It's just, I find it even more fulfilling than just sitting on the couch with you, because I'm proud of like the moves I'm making in it.
Exactly.
And I feel very inspired to keep going. And yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a great little work friendship.
Yes.
Bringing it back to the confidence, when you were having the times when you would audition, you got no's, or there were things that you really were dreaming of and wanting and chasing after, and it was just a lot of rejection, or doors just weren't opening. What do you feel like was so grounding for you to push past that?
Oh gosh. The dance industry is brutal, but I know a lot of other industries are brutal. But you know, you're constantly told no. And so I almost feel like I put it in my mind that I just wasn't gonna get whatever I auditioned for. Like I'll give it my all, but at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say, you know, if I don't get this, then I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. Or I just never gave it that much power. It was like, I'm here, I'm gonna show them what I got, and if it's not gonna work out, then no big deal, on to the next. Because I feel like if you take it, it's so easy to take things personally.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've gotten good at trying to separate it. I'm like, it's not personal. These people are trying to book a specific look. They need different, you know, like, I don't know, like different
characteristics, looks. Different hair even, different heights. You could be 2 inches too tall or too short for the job. Like, and you never know. Yeah,
you're literally putting like, can I have all the brunettes on the floor? And then you all like dance against each other because they're trying to find one brunette. It's, you know, so I feel like I've really just tried to separate it. It's not personal. And also, I feel like I talk about relationships are so powerful. A lot of times, I mean, I know it's so much easier to work with people you know and that know can do the job. So if people are you know, they see a friend at an audition, I would hire my friend too.
100%.
You know? So you have to know that there's so much involved, and it's not, I feel like I realized it's not me personally. I'm giving everything I can, and I think I just really dove into my training. Like, all right, let's take some dance classes. Let's get some footage online. Let's, try to expand myself so that I can give more in these auditions and all that.
Yeah. And for me, I feel like in dance and like mental health and nutrition and all of those things, and in myself, I feel like I gain so much more confidence when I add more under my belt. Like if I train more, if I'm networking more, if I'm reading more books, if I'm educating myself more on the foods in my body, like I feel like it brings me a new layer of confidence when I have this knowledge and all of these skills that I've been working on. And even just getting to know myself, I feel like that brings me so much confidence, because the more I get to know myself, the more like I can really hold on to the qualities that I love and value and appreciate and are proud of that maybe other people have, but it's in a different way because we're all unique. And the more I feel like I'm just learning in general, it really adds just an entirely new layer of, again, not taking things personally. Because when you know yourself, then you don't need other people to validate who you are and what you're doing.
Absolutely. You know what you have to offer, and if that situation wasn't for you, great. You'll be able to give what you have to offer in another place. And I love what you said, because I feel the same way. Like just building yourself up and taking care of yourself, like physically, mentally, in the foods you eat. Like I feel like so many times, like if someone has a brand new car, you're gonna take care of that car, you're gonna nurture it, you're gonna get it cleaned, you're gonna do all the things.
No
or
food
like
inside, no shoes.
Like new pair of shoes, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wear them here. But our bodies, like this is all we have. And here we're not, physically active. We're eating terrible things. It's like you have to take care of
the way we're talking to ourselves, or the way we let other people talk to us.
Exactly. It's like this is all you have. Like this is your vessel, and you need to take care of it in every aspect
and protect it. Yes. And polish it constantly. Yeah. And I love the car example, because like you can get a new car and you can constantly be cleaning it. And each and every day, like there's new dust, there's new things that are going to affect it that you're going to have to clean off. And that's us every single day. Like we're taking on things that we don't need to bring into the next day of our lives. And so our mind, our soul, our bodies are things that need our daily attention to be able to clean slate and renew, refresh, restore, protect, and polish. And I love that car example. And I think too, like it goes back to your identity is not tied in your abilities. And that's what I love about what you were kind of saying is, it's not personal, and no matter how many no's you've gotten, like, that's not who you are. You're not just a dancer, just like every other person, or the same brunette that's standing there next to everybody that looks like you. Like that is not your identity. That's just something you are capable of doing and something you have a talent in doing, but that's not you. And I think if
absolutely
you guys are dancers, or you're in any sort of like performance aspect, or just, even being compared on a resume, like when we've auditioned, I know you'll get in a room and they'll call out like, or even before you get there, it'll be like, we want this height range, and it'll be like 5'4" to like 5'6", and it'll say like the hair color, and so blonde, and it'll say the ethnicity. And so you show up and you could be next to like 100 girls that look exactly like you, that are all talented, that all know how to dance, that are all very able to do the same task, because everybody there is trained and professional and working. And so in those moments, it is so easy to like look side to side and be like, well, what is it that I don't have, because we all look the same? Or it can just feel like you're such a speck in it, when it's like, oh, I'm literally just another body. If I weren't here, no one would notice. And you can get in that negative cycle in your head. And that's where it's so important to separate, like, this is not who I am. This is something I'm able to do. And And I think it's a very humbling thing as well to be able to see, yeah, there's incredibly talented people out there just like me and just like you. And that's a beautiful thing. And from there, being able to hold on to, okay, but what's going to make me different, and what's going to be something I'm proud of that I can carry through with me in everything I do, not just in my dance or in my fitness or in this, but like what's something that I have that is going to stand out and that is different. And this kind of brings me into, where did the belief that you could do it come from?
I feel like we kind of touched on it, but that I pride myself in being around like-minded people and people that are going to lift you up. Because if you're constantly being torn down, then what does that do to your self-confidence? You start to believe it's true. Because at first, you know, you may think, I'll just have the example of, you have a really cute outfit on, and then someone's like, oh, are you really gonna wear that? And then you start to doubt yourself, but in the beginning you loved it.
Yes.
So you need to stick to that initial, your gut instinct of, no, I can do this, or I like my hair today, or, you know, whatever the circumstance may be. And so surrounding yourself with people that are like-minded and that want to lift you up and want you to accomplish great things, and you want them to accomplish great things, that helps you just build and grow and feel great about yourself. And there's just something in knowing you have such a good support system as well that I feel like helps you do great things.
Yes, and I wanted to mention as well that it is so important to be confident in your decisions. And I love the example of like, oh, I put on this outfit and I love it, and then somebody said something. And it's not just having confidence in yourself in the big things or in the rejections or when you don't get where you want to go when you thought you would. It is having the confidence in every single choice that you are making. And yeah, whether that's you wearing your hair up, whether that's down, it can be the smallest things, but I feel like that's where confidence is really built on just the things that you choose to do each and every day, and being confident in those choices. Because if you can go out and absolutely love the way you look, and somebody says something that judges that or changes that or puts their view on it, and if you're affected by that, then when it does come to the big things, then it's like rain is just pouring down on you. And so I think it's so important to be able to drown out that noise in every aspect, but then also, while you're drowning out that noise, listening to the people that are so supportive in your life and having that community, because community can make you feel so unstoppable and so capable of everything. And it is so important to have friends and to have mentors or family or people that you respect in your life that speak so positively over you and encourage you, and not in a way that just ends everything you do. But when there is that sort of a relationship where there's honesty and there's support and encouragement, it really helps you believe even more in yourself. And it constantly is reminding you, and I feel like giving you those like incentives to keep pushing forward. And when you have such a stable ground that's like right there with you and like pushing you along, you're not doing it alone. And that is so important. And because no matter what you do, if you're doing it alone, once you get to the top, once you get to the bottom, it doesn't matter. It's going to feel just as lonely. And so having the right people, and if you don't feel like you have that now, I've always been the person that like, I'd rather have no company than bad company. Like, wait, perfect yourself, do what you did, like just like you did in your jobs. Yeah, if you weren't booking every single day, you didn't waste that time. You started making videos, you started putting them online, you started doing these things. You didn't sit around and wait for the jobs to come to you. And same with your community and the people that you want in your life. And even me, there was, I think 2 years ago or something, I just was not loving my community, and I didn't feel pushed and encouraged, or I wasn't called to be higher in almost any aspect of my life. And I remember like, I just went into kind of solitude, and I was listening to podcasts every day. I was reading nonstop. I was constantly listening to these people that I really respected. And it helped me, one, not feel alone, but put in the work in myself to wait and grow myself so that way when I was meeting these people, I could also push them and I could also encourage them and I could also be that person for them.
No, I love that. You'd rather have no company than bad company because I feel like I had a moment too where, you know, I was hanging around, this quite a few years ago, but hanging around some people and it's like, at first I'm like, I don't fit in here. And that's okay. It's okay to not fit in, but then you have to take action. Because I'm a firm believer that you are who your friends are.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, my papa would say that all the time. You are who your friends are. So I feel like I didn't fit in, yet I'm gonna be, you know, associated with these people, so people are gonna think I am this way. And so then I had to take the action of, okay, I need to distance myself because I don't want my life to look like this. And that is totally okay, but you need to take action, otherwise you'll just get sucked into the cycle. And
for sure.
Yeah, so it's okay to making difficult choices is difficult, but in the long run, it's gonna help you so much. So
yeah, it's always, and I feel like the difficult choices, when you do the easy thing, it just prolongs the process. You will not regret making those hard choices. And also don't expect like an immediate change or an immediate response. And same thing, like, yeah, in career and work, but also even in just like drama, like if your friend group is very like toxic or drama or constantly talking about these things, like those, you will start to think that way.
Right, it takes a toll on you.
It takes a toll on you. And like, I've been there, I've done that. There's been many seasons of my life where I just haven't been proud of who I am. And a lot of that was the people I surrounded myself with. And not that there was any ill of them, but that wasn't where I wanted to progress in my life.
Yeah, and I feel like confidence comes from the set of values that you have that you do not waver from.
Yes.
It's like, to my core, this is who I am, and I'm not gonna let anyone take that away or waver that. Like, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And it's okay if you don't fit in certain, you know, groups or circumstances. But yeah, staying true to who you are and trusting yourself and trusting in your decisions.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like that transfers over into the importance of just living out confidence, but in a humble way. And that is what I think you do so well, because you can, I think in today's day and age, everything is so showy. And like with social media, it's constantly like who's doing what or this or that, and the best of the best. And in LA in general, like it's very competitive. And I think that's where true confidence is within yourself, and it is nothing that needs to be external. And that is way more powerful and way more appealing than anything that you're going to put out as a facade. Because most of the time, the most confident people I know, you can tell it's so rooted in who they are, and it's not a facade, and it's not this outward external thing or this cockiness. And that's what I mean by just walking in humble confidence, because they know how much they're worth, but they also have the self-awareness to know they can always improve. And there's nothing to show off. And I think that's what you have done so well, and what I think is just such a way more powerful way to live your life.
Thank you. You know, in the business we are in social media, it's honestly like a numbers game. Like, we only succeed when we get high numbers, which is awful. It's awful. Like, basically, the more attention we get, like we book jobs and whatever. So I think the way I think about it is people can, you know, in this world, you can ride a high and then all of a sudden, boom, you crash. And then what do you have? Or if social media was taken away today, who are you? What do you have? So really digging deep to like who you are and the values you have, because all these numbers are just playing games in your mind. It's like, you know, you can have I'm just gonna make the, thing for social media. Like you could have a really great video and the next day it just like is terrible. So, I feel like you need to have this balance of, okay, it's doing awesome, great. Let me try to keep on this because it is my livelihood. But also, like if it was taken away today, who am I and what do I have to offer and what can I give to other people? And what are my core values?
Yeah, and one of my other friends, she always says like social media for her is so hard because your bad days are publicized. And whereas like if you go into work and you have a bad day, like, okay, maybe your staff knows, or like if you messed up a project, if you like didn't do the presentation right, okay, like that sucks. But in social media, like everything you do, all of your work days, every single video, we're the ones editing it, but there's a lot of times that I'm like, I did not do well in that video, and I post it because I'm learning and I'm growing. And that's how it is in work. Like you learn and you grow and you perfect your craft. And when you are doing something publicly, everyone's seeing you learn and grow and perfect your craft, yet they're expecting a perfected result every single time. And so
true.
I think that's like what also just ties back to you can't have your identity placed in what you're doing. It has to be in who you are. And because just like with the dance auditions, okay, then it was a ton of other girls that looked like you, and then the people casting, and you had to worry about them. And now it's the same thing. It's just now we don't see the people looking at us, but we still have people looking at us, still have people judging us, critiquing us, making opinions of us, and whether or not to book us for jobs based on our numbers, or whether there's credibility in what we do based on how many people are following us. It's still that game. And I think that's why this conversation can transfer over into so many aspects, because there's always going to be a game of you trying to build up your worth in what you're doing. And like you said, if social media disappeared, if your current job disappeared, if your college disappeared, if your dance team disappeared, whatever you're on, if they disappeared, what would you do? And how would you feel? And to be able to get to that place where you are so unmovable and you are rock solid in who you are will transform the way you live.
Yes. And I am truly so appreciative for growing up in a competitive environment, because you get really tough skin because life is not fair. And I think I just encourage people to get yourself in somewhat uncomfortable situations, because that's where you grow. That is where you learn so much about yourself, about your tendencies, about where you want to be someday. Put yourself out there. It's scary at first, but once you get comfortable, you can't thrive in that environment. So you really have to get out there and, like we said, to your core, who are you? Who do you want to be associated with? And I also encourage people to, surround themselves with people that have really good things going on, and people that you look up to. Like I look up to Kayla so much. Like this podcast, you're like killing it on social media. You're such like a kind person to your core. And just surrounding yourself with those kind of people that you look up to just helps you better yourself and helps you be able to put that positive energy out there and, give off that confidence that you have.
For sure. And oh my gosh, right back at you. And I think too, I like that you said you grew up in a competitive dance scenario. And I think with that, which we probably have very similarly, is in the way we grew up, we were constantly being critiqued by our teachers and things like that. But that was almost a good thing. I remember always being like, if a teacher is actually going to take the time to come up and tell me what I'm doing wrong, then that means they actually know I have potential to do better. So I feel like it was really helpful growing up in a mindset of knowing if somebody is going to take the time to like steer me in a better path, or whether that was being like, that looks horrible, like do it this way, or in a loving way telling me, the fact that anyone would take their time and energy to help me improve was never viewed in a bad way of like, oh, I'm not good enough. They're just critiquing me left and right. Like, I'm never going to be perfect in this. And you can have two different mindsets on that. And I think that in that sense, it just stumps you from everything you're capable of. And whatever it is in your life, whether that's your boss, whether that's your teacher, whether that's your parent, whether it's friends telling you things that are hard to hear, know that if somebody's going to tell you something that's hard to hear, usually it's because they know you can do better and they see potential in you. And take that and run with that, because that is going to be more stepping stones to build yourself up, to view that as like, wow, yeah, I'm so confident in myself and they know I have the abilities that they're going to actually help me.
Yeah, it's definitely the way you look at it. If someone's, giving a critique in a certain situation, you can either, put yourself down and say, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough or whatever, or use it as fuel, like, okay, yeah, I can do better. Let's do better.
Yeah.
It's really just
the way you
think about it.
Yes. And so to close, I just wanted to say that like confidence is so much bigger than yourself. And I know how affected positively or negatively I am when the people around me, whether they're my close circle or just strangers that I'm passing, when they exuberate confidence. And it has helped shape my life so much and helped me gain so much confidence when I can see somebody else walk it out so beautifully and humbly. And I can see just how grounded they are in that. It affects my life, even just passing by them. And so know that like, it can be really easy to put all the attention on yourself and to feel like, oh, well, it doesn't really matter because if I don't believe in myself, like it doesn't make a difference. And that is just such a lie. And that's so not true. And I've been around people too that they really don't know how valuable and how worth it they are. And that also takes a toll because you can never convince somebody of how valuable they are. They have to believe it for themselves. And so whether you are that person or whether you want to be more confident in yourself, I just want to encourage you that it is such a trickle effect and it affects everybody around you, and you can make such a huge difference in your circle and in a greater scale than you could have imagined.
Yeah. I always like to say we are all unique people. Everyone is different and we all have something to bring to the table. Every last one of us. So yeah, you do have to believe it in yourself, but just know that each one of us are beautiful in our own way and we have something to bring to the table. And another thing I actually saw a video and I thought this was amazing and I'm gonna live by it. I've tried, but now more so. This girl said, she was like, I never let a positive thought, I never hold a positive thought in. Like if you like something about someone, tell them. If you wanna acknowledge someone's hard work, tell them. Going through a drive-through and you like someone's nails, tell them. Like we all have our days and we're not all confident 100% of the time.
No.
We all need pick-me-ups and you never know what kind of day someone is going through, and just to give that little bit of, I just know for myself, if someone gives me a compliment, then for the rest of the day, I'm chilling. Like I'm great.
No,
I feel great about myself. So just never hold a positive thought in. Like tell people.
I love that. I am definitely going to carry that into my life. That is such great advice.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hope this podcast was helpful for you guys. I hope you learned a lot, and just know that you are so capable, you're so unique, you're so valued, and the people around you also possess the same qualities. And just like Melanie said, don't ever hold that back. Let everybody know. Let's be a group and a community and a people that are always building one another up and always pushing everybody to a higher place that we all know they can go. So thank you so much, Melanie, for being on the podcast. You guys have to go follow her. She is such a queen. She will give you the best styling tips, hair tips, skincare tips, the best dance routines. You will learn so much from her. And even if that's not an interest of yours, her page in general just brings so much life and joy. So
Thank
you have to check it out.
Thank you. I just like to make people smile, so hopefully that's what happens when you look at my social media.
It will. All right, thanks guys. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.